The next episode opens with Lena being haunted by a vivid flashback from her childhood, a tragic and formative memory that continues to affect her deeply. Years ago, Lena accompanied her father on a rare visit to the battlefield. Though she was just a child, the harrowing events of that day left an indelible mark on her psyche. As they navigated the chaos and destruction, her father, a man driven by justice and compassion, tragically lost his life in the skirmish. In the middle of the gunfire and devastation, just as her own life was on the line, a juggernaut, the mechanical war machine piloted by soldiers of the 86th District, suddenly appeared, destroying a Legion robot that was moments away from killing her. The juggernaut's pilot, a young soldier, saved her life. This soldier, despite being part of the discriminated and oppressed 86th District, stepped out of the cockpit and offered Lena a piece of chocolate, an act of kindness she did not expect. Baffled, young Lena questioned him. Why had he saved her, a member of the ALBA, the very group responsible for systemic discrimination and cruelty against his people? The soldier responded with maturity and nobility, telling her that although the Republic treated his people unfairly, he still considered himself a citizen of the same country. He believed that it was his responsibility to protect those who were weaker, regardless of their social class or race. His words were filled with a sense of duty, pride, and honor, values that stuck with Lena ever since. When she asked for his name, he introduced himself simply as Ray. Back in the present day, Lena remains connected via para-raid with Undertaker Shin. Their conversation is ongoing, and Lena recalls having once asked Shin about his hopes for the future, what he might want to do once he was free from the war. At the time, Shin had said he wanted to find his older brother, a cryptic response that left Lena with many questions. She now brings it up again, seeking to understand him better. When she asks if what he wants to find is his brother's body, Shin gives her a quiet, chilling answer, no. The next day, Lena visits her friend Annette, who lives a privileged life far removed from the front lines. During their conversation, Annette casually complains about the absurdity of the marriage proposals she's receiving. She mentions that one of her new suitors is barely 5 years old, clearly mocking the desperation of families trying to secure her family's wealth through arranged marriage. Lena appears worn out and distracted, something her friend quickly notices. Concerned, Annette comments on how tired Lena looks. That's when Lena confesses that she's been using the para-raid system frequently to maintain constant communication with her squad on the battlefield. Annette is alarmed by this and strongly advises Lena against it. From her perspective, there's no value in being overly kind or emotionally invested in the 86ers. To Annette, they are just tools in a war, not people deserving of emotional ties. Her remarks reinforce the deep-rooted societal divide and apathy the ALBA have toward the 86th District. Later, Lena has another conversation with Shin. She notices that he's not on patrol at the moment and brings it up. Shin casually apologizes, but Lena reassures him that it's fine as long as he has a reason to believe that a patrol isn't needed at that time. Their exchange is calm but reflects a growing mutual trust and understanding. During the conversation, Lena accidentally witnesses two other soldiers kissing, which leaves her completely flustered. Embarrassed and not knowing how to react, she runs off in a frantic state. Right afterward, Shin informs Lena that they are preparing for combat. This surprises Lena as she hasn't received any alerts about enemy activity. She tells Shin that no combat warnings have come through yet. But Shin insists he's certain the Legion are approaching. Lena doesn't understand how he could know this without official intel. It's not the first time Shin has had such a premonition. It's almost as if he has a supernatural sense or a divine message warning him of impending danger. Before heading into battle, Shin makes a request to Lena. He asks her to cut off the para-raid connection. He explains that there are many black sheep among the Legion, a term that clearly has a darker, ominous implication. Lena, however, refuses to sever the connection, determined to support her squad through the mission. As the battle unfolds and the Legion begin their assault, Lena starts to hear something deeply unsettling through the para-raid. Though there are only Legion mechs on the battlefield, Lena hears the unmistakable voices and screams of mothers, children, and families in distress, voices crying out in fear, pain, and despair. The cries feel eerily real, like actual human suffering echoing through the network. It's overwhelming and deeply disturbing, a psychological torment that brings home the hidden horrors of this war. Eventually, Shin disconnects the para-raid from his end and proceeds to destroy the Legion units with brutal precision. After the battle concludes, Lena and Shin reconnect. It is during this conversation that Shin reveals the disturbing truth behind what Lena heard. He explains that he has a unique and terrible ability. He can hear the Legion. The enemy machines aren't merely mechanical. They are using stolen consciousness harvested from the brains of the dead. The Legion have developed a way to continue functioning far beyond their expected lifespan by embedding the neural data of fallen soldiers into their units. This is how they survive and evolve. The voices Lena heard were the residual thoughts and screams of people whose brains had been co-opted by the Legion. Shin goes on to say that this ability to hear the Legion has taken a psychological toll on him and those who have worked with him. Past handlers who connected to him through para-raid couldn't handle it. The overwhelming voices of the dead, the constant stream of suffering and pain that Shin endures, have driven previous handlers to insanity. Shin, however, continues to bear it silently. Lena, shaken by what she has experienced and learned, begins to understand the magnitude of what Shin and the other 86ers endure every day, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally.